team that stands for New Mexico. You're watching KOB4 News today.
Good morning. It is Friday here, 4:30. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Danielle Todesco.
And I'm Gabe Salazar. We do have breaking news, a deadly shooting overnight. But first, a look at this morning's headlines.
Alec Baldwin no longer charged with manslaughter in that deadly movie set shooting here in New Mexico. But it could change. We'll tell you why he's not out of the woods just yet.
Plus, before you upgrade your computer, you might want to give your old one a chance. How you can extend its lifespan all while saving money and the earth.
And you don't need to go out and buy a new leather sofa either. In our next half hour, the product that you might have in your house right now that can transform your leather furniture.
And we are waking up with freeze warnings on this Friday morning, with many of us dropping down into those upper 20s and low 30s. But we are going to be tracking some milder conditions this afternoon. That's all coming up on your Weather on the 4s.
All right, this morning we are starting with breaking news. There was a deadly shooting in northeast Albuquerque. The initial shooting call happened just after 2 this morning at the luxury apartments near I-40 in Carlisle. And police say they found one person dead there. But officers have taken multiple calls overnight that might all be connected to this. So we have a crew headed to that way. We'll have a live report starting at 5 o'clock.
The team that stands for New Mexico. You're watching KOB4 News at noon.
And thank you for joining us here at noon. The jury in the trial of Luis Talamantes Romero heard testimony from 2 witnesses today. The first witness was from the Office of the Medical Investigator. She testified that Jackie Vigil died instantaneously after being shot in the head. And then APD Commander Kyle Hartsock returned to the stand, where the defense pressed him on testimony from Talamantes Romero's co-defendant, Isaac Ramirez.
The team that stands for New Mexico. You're watching KOB4 News at 5.
And right now at 5, the end of an emotional week for Jackie Vigil's family. What new revelations came out today in the trial of the man accused of killing her at random in her driveway and making our streets safer minute by minute, quadrant by quadrant. How stats and analytics are playing a huge role in how APD is patrolling now. And putting the buzz back in Burke, the city's very specific plan for planting a bunch of flowers all around town. So before we get to all those stories, some breaking news from the U.S. Supreme Court. Justices voted to preserve access to the abortion pill mifepristone. Now, there has been a fierce debate on both sides of this aisle when it comes to the safety and access of this pill. But again, just moments ago, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a lower court restricting a lawsuit, or restrictions, I should say, while a lawsuit continues. This drug has been approved for use in the U.S. since 2000. More than 5 million people have used it. So, of course, we'll be following today's decision and the impact all across our country in our later newscasts. There is a delay, meanwhile, in the Rust movie set shooting case against the film's armorer. Today, a judge agreed to push back a hearing for Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. Now, of course, this comes one day after prosecutors dropped all charges against actor and producer Alec Baldwin, saying new facts were revealed that demand further investigation and forensic analysis.
And he gets on the phone, and then they further discuss what actually did happen with the crime itself.
Never before heard calls from jail by the man accused of shooting and killing Jackie Vigil, the mother of 2 state police officers. But why the jurors may never hear some of them. A man accused of murdering someone at a local McDonald's drive-thru had to answer to a judge today. So what's next for him? And nothing says fun and young romance like your senior prom. But this is not for high school students. The effort to create the new memory of a lifetime.
The team that stands for New Mexico. You're watching KOB4 News at 6.
And we have a lot to get to tonight, but we begin with some breaking news out of Farmington. An attorney representing the 3 officers who shot and killed a man after they went to the wrong house is calling his family's claims and statements inflammatory. Police killed Robert Dotson at his front door weeks ago. They were supposed to go to a home right across the street for a domestic violence call. Dotson came to the door with a gun, and that's when officers shot him. Less than an hour ago, an attorney representing the officer sent a lengthy letter about this incident. We're still reading through it, but attorney Luis Robles says multiple times the officers had no choice but to use deadly force for fear of their own lives. Now, this letter comes again a day after the Dotson family laid out their intentions, spoke publicly for the first time since this tragedy. They announced they do plan to sue the city of Farmington, and they called on Farmington's police chief to resign. What else, however, this letter claims and what department officials are saying about it, we'll have that for you tonight at 10 on the Night Beat.
The team that stands for New Mexico. You're watching KOB4 News at 6:30.
And we begin tonight at 6:30 with breaking news out of Farmington. The attorney representing 3 officers who shot and killed a man after they went to the wrong house is calling his family's claims and statements inflammatory. Police killed Robert Dotson at his front door weeks ago. They were supposed to go to a home across the street for a domestic violence call. Dotson came to the door with a gun, and that's when officers shot him. Less than an hour ago, an attorney representing the officers sent a lengthy letter about the incident. We're still reading through all of it, but attorney Luis Robles says multiple times the officers had no choice but to use deadly force for fear of their lives. This letter comes after the Dotson family laid out their intentions yesterday. They plan to sue the city and called on Farmington's police chief to resign. Now, what else this letter claims and what department officials are saying about it, we'll break that down tonight at 10 on the Night Beat. We saw just how bad it got with the Jemez River last week, and now another community along a different river in our state is bracing itself for possible flooding as well. Now, those flooding concerns are in the Four Corners, where there isn't just one river. We're talking about 3. Meteorologist Brandon Richards joins us. And Brandon, we've seen a lot of snow quickly melting there in the San Juan Mountains in Colorado this season, and that's what the concern is now.
Oh yeah, I mean, you saw the amazing amounts of snow that we saw for our North Mountains and in southwest Colorado. And Scarlett Littlejack explains how city officials say right now is the perfect time to get prepared.